Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. Hello, hi everyone. This program, Election 2020, it's going to proceed in English today, but I would like to talk to our Urdu audience also. आज का जो प्रोग्राम है इलेक्शन 2020 आपको रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे ताकत के ईवानों में, आपकी लॉ इन्फोर्समेंट एजेंसीज़ में, वो भी आपके साथ बैठें, आपके साथ ब्रेड ब्रेक करें, आपके साथ शाम की चाय एंजॉय करें और आपको बता सकें कि क्यों ये आपके लिए एक राइट कैंडिडेट हैं। हमने TV1 के प्लेटफॉर्म से ये ऑफ़र सबको एक्सटेंड की है ताकि वो आके इस प्लेटफॉर्म से अपना मुद्दा बयान कर सकें कि क्यों ये बेहतर लोग हैं मुसलमानों को भी रिप्रेजेंट करने के लिए। मुस्लिम अमेरिकन्स भी पार्ट ऑफ द सोसाइटी हैं और इस वक्त जिस किस्म की भी डिवीजन मुल्क में चल रही है उसको थोड़ा मिनिमाइज़ करने के लिए। तो चूँकि प्रोग्राम के गेस्ट जो हैं इंग्लिश में हैं, वील कंटिन्यू द प्रोग्राम इन इंग्लिश। इन बिटवीन कभी कभी हम उर्दू का सेगमेंट भी इसमें चलाएंगे इनकी थाट्स आपके साथ शेयर करने के लिए। सो लेडीज़ एंड जेंटलमैन, दिस प्रोग्राम इज स्पेशली डेडिकेटेड for 2020 election, and this election is so significant in the history of our nation that we want those wholesome Americans representing us in the House of Powers and in the offices of policy making, where they are looking at a full-fledged American and not at the color of their skin, ethnicity, and religious background. With this motto, TV1 have extended, their invitation to a lot of those folks that TV1 and the community believes might be serving the best interest of United States of America and all Americans inclusively and not differentiating between one or the other, because liberty and equal opportunity is the right of every American. We'll start the program. We have two special guests today. So we'll start from Derek. Hi, Derek. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
And Derek, welcome to TVOne USA at this platform. Most of your audience, and since the program is in English and it will go live too, there will be audience in English language as well. But there is live being watched in the houses today, where the families are gathered around the table to have an evening tea. Maybe somewhere they're having dinner, early dinner here. Derek, tell us about you and your message, your background, and what you stand for.
So I'm a candidate for Congress, Congressional District 22, which is here in the southern Houston area. It is Pearland, Sugarland, Fort Bend County, essentially. I'm currently serving in Pearland as a council member until November 5th when the elections come. But right now I'm still a council member, been a council member since 2015. I'm from the Houston area, was born in the Houston area, was actually raised in New Jersey and came back to Houston for high school. Went to the University of Texas at Austin for undergrad, and am an engineer actually by trade. A lot of folks don't know that. They're like, how did you get into politics from engineering? I went back to law school to Texas Southern University in 2004, obtained my law degree, and been practicing ever since. I became a civil servant the first time, or I started off becoming a civil servant. I started with my civil service as an assistant district attorney for Harris County, and that was in 2009. And have been serving ever since. I went from the DA's office to the city of Pearland as a planning and zoning commissioner. Did that for 2 years, and then I ran for office in 2015, got elected. Right now, I'm like I said, I'm running for Congress. I want to continue to serve. We have a lot of issues, like you said, with this country, a lot of division as of late with this country, with the current administration. And I want to be I will be part of getting us back to actually accepting everyone, accepting, us, like you said, regardless of race, regardless of color. Right now, actually, my practice area with my law firm is employment law, and I work on the plaintiff side. And so, often I get clients that have been discriminated against or sexually harassed. And so those things mean something to me. They actually mean something to me. I actually work with those things, work with those types of issues. And so when I get to Congress, I will continue that work. I will continue the service that I've done, not only through my law firm, but through the city of Pearland, continue to serve the people, not just of Pearland, but of the entire district.
Amazing introduction, Derek. We are going to continue this. Let's talk to a caller. G, you are live on TVOne USA.
Yes, this is a question for Cynthia.
Okay, I'm so glad you mentioned Cynthia. Viewers, my apologies first of all. Cynthia had a last-minute appointment come out. Congressman Al Green came in town, and she have just informed us that because of him coming in town, there's expectation that she might have to be there at a 10-15 minutes notice. So she canceled maybe about 15-20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes before the program, and she's going to come back again. So I'm so sorry, but definitely give us the question, because I'm pretty sure she's listening to the program.
Okay, so really my question for Cynthia is that as the Indian American community is going through a huge transformation, sort of a tectonic shift, that became very evident with Prime Minister Modi's visit to Houston. The Indian American community, or I must say the Hindu American community, has always traditionally been democratic in nature. However, with the rise of the Hindu supremacist organization called the RSS and its political branch, BJP, there's a huge following of the RSS Hindutva philosophy in the Houston area, and that became evident with Mr. Modi's visit. So how does the Democratic Party balance this? Because there are Democratic candidates who are completely puzzled in this developing schism in the Indian American community, where the followers of the Hindutva philosophy are leaning more towards the Republican right rather than the democratic values of the Democratic Party. So that was my question. If any of the candidates want to address it, that would be great.
Awesome question. Thank you so much. If you would like to give your name, you're more than welcome to. You don't have to. It's an amazing question, and we will. I'm pretty sure Cynthia is listening. But while Cynthia is not here, it is an extremely sad situation within the corridor of United States of America that extremist mentality, organizations who have been banned in the past by the United States, that has taken over part of the community. I would not say all the Indian community, but some of the Indian community have gone towards, like you would say, like sympathizers of extremists, you would say, in the third world countries. And RSS is known for being there, and it's in the State Department documents. Derek, if you would like to tackle that question, that how would we tackle that our democratic base within the Indian community through this faction of extremism is being disturbed?
So as far as the, and I think what the caller was, it sounded like what he was saying was, how do we as Democrats, adjust and make sure that this does not, one, divide the community, the Indian community, but then divide the party and the participation of the Indian community in the party. I think that we need to, one, hold strong to our values, to our democratic values when it comes to human rights and to, pushing the things that we believe in as Democrats. Obviously embracing the Indian community, specifically in this district. The Indian community is rather large, and just the South Asian community in general is rather large. And so, but making sure that we are continuing to push the message of human rights, and that human rights is something that we must continue to promote. I mean, it's the very foundation of our country.
And we want to continue to explore that. Viewers, Monihad, he is running for the constable office in Precinct 3. Monihad also shares a lot of wholesome American background. Monihad, tell us and our viewers a bit of introduction about you, and what can you bring to the plate which makes America a prosperous country than it is today?
Sure. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa
My
alaikum
name is
assalam.
Monihad. I've been a resident of Fort Bend County for about 3.5 years. I've lived in Harris County for 18 years. I'm born and raised in Kuwait. I did my education mostly with the Pakistani education system, and then moved to United States over here. Did my undergrad from Pakistan, did my master's over here in Houston. Worked with Verizon Wireless for about 10 years, went back to Kuwait, worked over there, came back. My passion, ever since I was a kid, I wanted to become a police officer. However, my father told me always, regardless you become a police officer in whichever country you want to, you need to be financially secure first. And with that said, I didn't become a police officer until I was 35. And I'm going to turn 41 now, so I've been a police officer for 5 years. I'm married with 3 daughters who live in Fort Bend County with me. My whole reason that I'm running for Constable Precinct 3 for Fort Bend County is because I want to go ahead and make sure that the services that are provided by the Constable's office are provided equally to everybody. Not provided only because you live in a privileged neighborhood or because you have that privilege where you can actually pay additional to the Constable's office to provide supplemental patrol. Myself and my team have various ideas where we can actually implement patrolling for all of the precinct. Precinct 3, by the way, has 280,000 residents. It covers 270 square miles of Precinct 3 in Fort Bend County. After Precinct 1, Precinct 3 has the largest population of Fort Bend County. And my message is, what I want to work on is bring proactive policing to everybody in the precinct to make sure that transparency is there in regards to everything that the agency does on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, semi-annual, or annual basis. Plus, whatever promises that I make right now to all the community, irrespective of whether you're Indian, Pakistani, Hispanic, Black, Caucasian, Asians, is that hold me accountable to it. And I will ensure that I will keep up to my promises, whether they're the stakeholders within the community or individuals who actually work for the agency and the office.
So viewers, I would like to talk to you about both of these candidates and their unique background. Being in what binds them together, I believe the UT binds them together. We see that commonality, sales experience, an educational background, and also both candidates seem to be business-wise and financially very accomplished. So there is not a whole bunch of desire, seems like, from these candidates. I would like to also talk to our audience in Urdu and give this message, since this program is also watched in predominantly Indian Pakistani community houses. ये दोनों जो कैंडिडेट्स हैं, ये इनके अंदर जो यूनिक बातें हैं, यूनिवर्सिटी से एजुकेटेड हैं, पढ़े लिखे हैं, दोनों ने बिजनेस अकॉम्प्लिशमेंट्स भी की हैं, दोनों होलसम लेवल पे फैमिली गाइस हैं, फैमिली वैल्यूज़ पे बिलीव करते हैं, यूनिटी जो है इनका एक मोटिव है, मकसद है कम्युनिटी के अंदर, दोनों ना सिर्फ पढ़े लिखे हैं बल्कि इन्वॉल्व हैं, कनेक्टेड हैं हमारी कम्युनिटी के डे टू डे प्रॉब्लम से. ये नहीं है कि ये सिर्फ कनेक्टेड हैं एक सर्टन सेगमेंट ऑफ सोसाइटी से या सर्टन कलर या रेस से, बल्कि इट सीम्स के ये दोनों कनेक्टेड हैं ऑल रेसेस से, ऑल कम्युनिटीज से. तो इनसे कंटिन्यू करते हैं बात एंड मो निहाद से दोबारा हम शुरू करते हैं. Mo, for the purpose of viewers and the program being in English, so that Derek is also involved in the conversation, I think we should do another segment as well for you about your background in Pakistan and all that as well. But today, coming to the constable office, you have said that you will make sure that the constable office is impartial. Yeah. That's the message I'm getting. What are some of the steps that you have in mind?
So, the constable's office, so that the viewers know here, a lot of them probably don't know, the constable's office main responsibility is actually to provide security for the justice of the peace court that is in the precinct, plus take care of all the civil warrants or writs that are there that are Class C under $10,000 value. Okay, that's what the articles say in CCP Criminal Code of Procedure. However, with time and years, it has been evolved. Constables do a whole lot more. That is proactive patrolling, traffic accidents, neighborhood watches, fraud cases, healthcare cases, you name it. However, my goal is to ensure that regardless of who is on the other side of the line, they're actually treated as an individual, as an American, irrespective of their social background, socio-economic background, or their nationality, their religion, their color, their who they affiliate sexually, it doesn't matter.
Gotcha. Constable office एक नब्ज़ है, पल्स है जस्टिस सिस्टम की. कांस्टेबल ऑफिस के अंदर कांस्टेबल के इलेक्शन के बाद कांस्टेबल एक्ट्स एज द चीफ ऑफ देयर ऑफिस इन देयर प्रीसिंक्ट. जब ऊपर वाले ठीक होंगे, नीचे वाले भी ठीक हो जाएंगे. डेरिक कांग्रेस डिस्ट्रिक्ट 22 के लिए जा रहे हैं. डिस्ट्रिक्ट 22 प्रिडोमिनेंटली पेयरलैंड, शुगरलैंड का एरिया है. इस गुफ्तगू को हम आगे लेके जाएंगे एक छोटे से वक्फे के बाद. We'll take a small break and we'll come back. Some words guaranteed the autonomy of a Kashmir, which was a princely state in India. That article was abrogated by the current government of India, followed by a curfew. So my question is more towards the humanitarian crisis, human suffering. How do you feel about that, Derek?
Straight to what you just said as far as human suffering. I mean, that issue is a worldwide issue. It's not just, secluded to Kashmir. It's a huge human rights issue, and it's something that we must continue to pay attention to. Not just pay attention to, but actually address when it comes to just the treatment of people in general. This country hasn't been good as of late as far as demonstrating human rights with our own immigration system. We've continuously separated children from their families, fathers from their sons and daughters, and those children don't know where their parents are. And so I see, the similarities in that to a certain extent. Obviously I'm not there, but, as a congressman, it is my job to make sure that we continue to press upon, one, this country being a demonstration, a good demonstration of human rights for other countries. Two, making sure that we address issues surrounding us because they do affect our Americans. Like you said, there's Americans here, Americans that have families there that are being affected by this. And so it's something that cannot be dismissed. It's a huge human rights issue that I will make sure, as the next congressman for this district, to continuously address and make sure that it stays at the forefront.
So comparing the human suffering in Kashmir, and you made a very good analogy in comparison with what happened recently on the border. And we are a land of immigrants from all backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds and religious backgrounds. I would like for you to, keeping that in mind, and also thinking about a couple of congressional representatives try to visit the borderland and they were not allowed to visit. And at the same time, a statement was followed that everything is okay in Kashmir. So if a congressional representative goes, and I would like for you to tell our viewers, looking them in the eyes, that what that means for you coming as a representative from Democratic Party. And I'm so sorry, before we do that, let's take this caller before we do that. Go ahead, you're live on TVOneUSA.
Hi, everybody. Especially, I have a question for Mr. Derek Ray. When he become a congressman, what he's going to do about the Sugarland students. So we don't have college for them. There's a college community. There's a college in Stafford, but we don't have any college in Sugarland especially.
Okay, awesome.
I will do something for the student loan.
Okay, so there was, go ahead.
We are having a problem for the student loan.
Okay, so two questions you have. Right, one is about the college and one is about the student loan. Any other questions?
Thank you, sir. Let me think some more.
Okay, cool. So the caller, Derek, is wondering that there's a lot of colleges. We are back into our challenges for our sons and daughters and the loved ones. That there's colleges everywhere. As a congressman, what would be your role, more or less, to ensure that there is a college in Sugarland community? Also about the student loans, since you have been a student yourself, and you know the suffering that every student goes through. A lighter subject, if you would like to tell our viewers.
So that's a great question, caller. So there's more than just the lack of college in the Sugarland community. There's no community hospital. There's no form of like one healthcare where you can go to, or healthcare facility that you can go to, large healthcare facilities. So there's a lack of college. There's a lack of healthcare facility, large healthcare facility, and just a lack of other things in general. Flood protection. So there's infrastructure issues, but specifically with college, I will make sure and continue to find inroads into how I can work with municipal government and state government to see how we can get maybe some type of community college or at least a branch of a community college in the Sugarland area. We had the same issue in Pearland. We worked with the University of Houston and we eventually got a branch in the city of Pearland. And so it's not hard to do. It is something that I have experience with and have worked with before. as far as the caller's question with regard to loans.
And we can come to that answer as well
Yes.
after taking the next caller. Thank you so much, folks, for calling into the program TV1 USA Election 2020. जी, आप on air हैं? Our next caller is on air.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Sir, I don't know.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. आप on air
Hello?
हैं? जी, जी. जी, जी, जी.
Yeah, I have a question for both my question is for both of your, for both of the candidates in your show. I'm no expert on these things, but as a common citizen living in Houston, I see there is an increase of drug use among school kids. I see every day we hear a lot of news in about the crime rates getting higher. The roads in Houston are considered to be very dangerous. There are a lot of road accidents every other day, especially within Sugarland area, with 59, 69, And one other most important thing is hurricane preparedness and the arrangements after the calamity hit the city of Houston, especially after Hurricane Harvey and recent narrow escape that we had from the recent hurricane. So, for crime, maybe the constable, the candidate for the constable can answer, and the rest of the issues I would like if Mr. Derek Reid would like to say something.
And thank you so much. Sure, and I'm so sorry, viewers, for a little bit of disruption in the sound quality of the callers. And I'm going to try to make sure that I made this question all the way. I'm pretty sure you guys heard that too. But the question is more about the crime rate increase, seems like it. Also the situation on the roads. And there was another question that I could not get, but I'm going to get back to you unless one of you guys got it. So let's start from Mo. You heard the question which was specifically directed towards you?
All I heard was about 59, 69.
Okay. So her question is, crime rate in your area. Are you aware of it? And if you are, what are the plans to reduce that? I'm just kind of modifying this question because of the sound quality that we had with the caller. Maybe it was a cell phone reception or something like that. So she wants you to focus on answering in relation to crime within
Sure. Sure. So as all of us know, Fort Bend County is a county that is bringing a lot of people in from different counties, from different states across the country. With that, of course, crime rate will increase. So what she's telling actually is not it's a number. It's a true number. Mm-hmm. And it goes back to what I was telling you earlier, is that in order for actually to either maintain or to suppress the crime rate, you have to have proactive policing by different methods. When I say different methods include not only traffic stops, but it also includes walking and talking in the park, walking and talking at the businesses, the bars that are there in the precinct or across the county. All of that matter. You have to show police presence, that not by actually stopping people specifically, but showing that there are police officers in the area, whether it's city police in the county or if it's the deputy sheriffs or the deputy constables. You have to show that there is police presence. Now, these citizens will agree, when you see police presence, the crime automatically detracts. People who want to pass by those roadways choose not to. And this is a perfect example. If you actually go in smaller cities or neighborhoods, when you see those individual police agencies across the board, people will take a different route. And I don't mind, people who are not supposed to be there to take different routes.
So what do you feel about maybe increasing the number of beats within your precinct?
Well, that's a very one of good solutions for that. Also, it goes back to to be.
And tell our viewers who don't know what a beat is, because I just use the term because I'm familiar with it.
Okay,
from my time in police academy.
So a beat. So beat is basically a geographical location that is actually attributed or put together so that which covers 4 corners of a neighborhood.
Yes.
So it could be from one cross street at a major intersection to another.
And some beats are so large. I mean,
some
it's
beats,
inhuman
like
to cover.
especially in city of Houston or in Harris County Sheriff's Office, or for that matter at Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office too. And Precinct 3 is a large precinct too, and the beats are actually large. You're right. You can actually take those larger beats and actually cut them into smaller beats, and you can put more deputies in there. with the increased influx of residents that are coming into the...
And let's continue with that conversation. Let's take the
Sure.
caller real quick. You are on air, TVOneUSA, election 2020.
Yes, sir. I have a question with Mr. Derek regarding the hospital in Sugar Land again. As we have a big hospital in Harris County, it's from Alameda, and the people, those who cannot afford, they got the gold card. But we have a problem. We have too many hospitals, but very expensive. If you don't have insurance, you cannot afford it. So I need an answer on anything like that. I mean, that he is going to help us regarding the hospital, like Harris County Hospital. And the people, those who cannot afford, they got a gold card. They don't need to pay. But
So-
here in Sugar Land, as I said it,
So health reforms, the caller, Derek.
exactly. We need
There's a burning
big
issue,
hospital.
right? So,
Yes.
yeah, that's an absolutely good question. Thank you so much for that question. And folks, we will get to your answers. Maybe we'll hold the calls going forward and try to get to all the questions. The previous caller had a question for you as well. We'll come to that because the reception was a little bit bad. I could not make the question all the way out. But this caller specifically asking our congressional candidate, healthcare reforms, specifically in Sugar Land, you don't have really an equal opportunity healthcare facility for everyone, those who might have retired and they can barely afford to enjoy the lifestyle of Sugar Land. But when it comes to healthcare, if they have gold card and state-assisted medical program, where to go, what to do, what are your plans?
So, and again, when I was addressing the lack of not just a college, but there's lack of an actual county hospital. I've dealt with that personally. My mom only had a gold card when she passed, and the amount of healthcare that you can get is extremely limited. But that is something that I plan on working with local government, with state government, to get a state-funded and federal-funded hospital, or somewhat, mixed-funded hospital here in the Sugar Land area. Not even just for the folks that live in Sugar Land, but proximity-wise. I mean, there is no, like the caller said, there's no close state-funded hospital. I think the closest one may be Ben Taub Hospital, and so that is something that's desperately needed.
That's pretty far for Sugar
Ben
Land
Taub
folks,
Hospital
right?
is extremely far for someone to drive from Sugar Land that has a gold card. If you go to Southwest Memorial, it may be some time before you actually get.
And right before Sugar Land and right after Sugar Land, there's a huge population who actually have these type of assisted medical coverages.
Who
So,
need it. And so it's not just for the residents of Sugar Land, it's for the residents in this area, for the for the residents that cannot afford health care. Health care is the largest issue in this country right now that has not been addressed, and it hasn't been addressed properly, for over 10 years, for longer than that. President Obama tried to address it, and it's just, there's things with the Affordable Care Act that may need to be fixed, but we need to address it in a way that we as a community, not just Democrats and Republicans, but we as a community see that it's affecting our society, and it's an important issue.
So if I was to say that, in your opinion, Obamacare might not be the best out there, but for right now, our country's healthcare solutions, that is the option that can be modified, bettered, improved, and presented to the community. Will that be correct?
That is my position, that it is something that can be modified. I think Obamacare can be modified. I think we can also introduce other ways of funding healthcare.
Gotcha.
To create competition for the big, healthcare companies and pharmaceuticals.
Shortage of time, folks, is always a challenge that media tries to, accommodate. It's time for a break, but the bread and the butter of the society within the American walls of future and prosperity lies into the corridors of powers of the policymaking in Congress and starts from a city and county level from a law enforcement perspective. We can never ignore importance of both. We'll be right back with you after a break. एक वक्फे के बाद मिलते हैं. बैक जी आयानु खुश आमदेद. आपका हम इस्तकबाल करते हैं इस प्रोग्राम में वापस. कन्वर्सेशन कंटिन्यू करते हैं. टाइम शॉर्ट है, मुकाबला सख्त है. मोनिहाद से. मोनिहाद, law enforcement is the backbone of any society. Crime rate, like you said, is going up. You have spoken about the beats and increasing the number of beats. Tell us why you and not someone else.
The reason why me and not someone else is going back to actually looking at my track record when I actually worked with Verizon Wireless. I also co-manage our family-owned business, which is a violin business. Plus, I have personal investment properties for the family that I manage. And then my track record over here. I've worked with Harris County Sheriff's Office in the past, and currently I've worked with the third largest police agency for the state of Texas, specifically University of Texas. You can check my track record. I'm an individual who actually leads by example. I'm not going to ask you to do something that I'm not comfortable doing. Plus, going back and looking, I have achieved what usually police officers achieve in a 10 to 15 year span. I've achieved those in 5-year spans of time. In reference to solving crimes, in reference to actually getting to-be warrants and actually executing those warrants for the same defendant, myself. When it comes to traffic enforcement, which is basics of community public safety, managing and actually taking care of traffic accidents. I'm a patrol officer. I'm not an officer who's actually sitting behind a desk and trying to solve. I'm an individual who actually patrols for 8 hours at the minimum in the medical center. And I've been doing that successfully. I've accomplished in regards to specifically building those connections with the community, not because I'm a bad or a police officer that's Superman or anything. No, you have to connect with your community in order for that community members to actually come out, either email you, talk to you, call you, text you, and let you know what's going on in the community, to let you know before something happens, to be proactive to prevent that from happening. You can't wait until it's too late to prevent the crime. But if you see something, say something, contact us, let us know, and that is only going to be accomplished when you actually build those relationships.
And hold that thought, Mo. We want to come back to complete that thought right after speaking to this caller. Probably, since we have so many questions, we might make this the last caller of the program. Ji, you are on air.
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम दो क्वेश्चन है एक तो डेरिक साहब से कि ये मुस्लिम कम्युनिटी तक कैसे आउटरीच करेंगे इस टीवी शो में आए हैं बड़ी अच्छी बात है तो और किस तरीके से ये मुस्लिम कम्युनिटी को रीच आउट करेंगे और जो मो नेहाद हैं उनसे क्वेश्चन है कि वो पुलिस और कम्युनिटी के बीच में ब्रिजेस कैसे क्रिएट करेंगे और इस्लामोफोबिया कैसे कम करेंगे पुलिस फोर्स के अंदर
Beautiful question from the caller. For those of you who don't speak English, I'll repeat the question and I'll summarize it. Question for Derek is, how would you make a plan to reach out to the Muslim community as a congressional district during and after your election? And question for Mo, you already understand that because Mo speaks both languages. He's asking, to close the gap between the police and the community. So let's you answer that question, closing the gap, and then we'll come to Derek.
So in order to actually close that gap, you have to go ahead and represent yourself, not within your community. So of course, my immediate community is my Muslim community in the county, in the precinct. However, I have to go ahead and reach out to all the other factions of the religion.
So Islamophobia is the subject here.
Yes. So I can only get that out is going out and reaching to other community members and to letting them know how I am as a Muslim represent myself. Because the only way I can be an example of my religion is by representing my actions. And my actions have been represented very well while I worked in Harris County Sheriff's Office. Not because of any great things that I've done. It's little things that you do for your fellow members.
तो वो निहाज ये कहना चाहते हैं कि एज अ मुस्लिम ऑफिसर कैसे आप अपने आप को पोर्ट्रे करते हैं कम्युनिटी में. व्हेन देयर इज़ अ मुस्लिम ऑफिसर एक ट्रस्ट बिल्ड होता है क्योंकि बैड नेम विच हैज़ बीन जस्ट अनफॉर्चुनेटली a creation of media and Islamophobes who tend to hate pretty much everyone which does not walk like them, talk like them, or look like them. America today cannot afford that. आज का अमेरिका, आज का हमारा मुल्क ये अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकता है. By being the best example, and I would like to remember our Sardar officer who was led in the line of duty recently, and he have sacrificed himself. So have many Muslim officers and firefighters in New York and everywhere else, in every tragedy of the United States. And that's a beautiful answer, Derek, that Mo has given, that you have to lead by example. Derek, coming to you, Islamophobia is real. It's a real thing. It's making our country weak. And the question for you was a little bit different. Also, a community reach out specifically to the Muslim community of your district. What are the plans?
So one of the beauties about this district is it's almost, or I'm sorry, one of the beauties about where I'm serving and how I'm serving now and the capacity that I'm serving as a council member is Pearland is one of the most diverse cities in the country. This district is one of the most diverse districts, top 3 diverse districts in the country. And so I have the benefit, and I say benefit strongly, of serving a broad group of people right now. I'm an at-large council member. I don't serve in one specific district. I serve all of the community, all of the citizens of Pearland. Pearland has a strong Muslim community. And for me, the best way to serve a people is to get involved with that culture, with that community, whether it be the Muslim community, whether it be the Asian community, the black community, the white community, is to get involved and actually know what it is that they're wanting. I think you lead, like my colleague here said, by example. You know, my involvement will create more involvement for, you know, other congressmen, other elected officials in the district, you know, making more town hall meetings, maybe having town hall meetings, something that's not done right now, but having town hall meetings in specific areas where there might be a concentration of a certain culture, and moving it around throughout the district, not just focusing on, you know, having a town hall meeting in Pearland or Sugar Land. And so my example, or my answer to that question is somewhat similar, like to my colleague, is leading by example, but actually getting on the ground and learning more about the community that you represent. I won't just represent the black community in District 22. I won't just represent the Pakistani community or the Indian community or the Asian community. I represent everyone in this district. And so that's my goal. I already have, like my colleague, a track record of that type of representation, and I look forward to continuing.
And caller also appreciated both of you guys coming to a Pakistani community channel where they can see you. So media plays a big role. What's your opinion on reaching out to ethnic TV channels to reach out to the houses and the cores of those fellow Americans whose language might not be first language of English?
Yes, well, I've heard a lot of words here that, you know, I hope to pick up, you know, as time comes. Maybe I obviously don't think I'll be able to learn the entire language, but I think this is great. This is a great opportunity for me to actually learn more, not just put myself in the homes of the viewers, but learn more about the culture, learn more about the things you mentioned in the beginning of this, that there's a lot of folks right now having tea, and that's something that is specific to the culture, and so that is something new that I've learned, and that, you know, we'll walk away with. And
so evening tea is a specific aspect of the Asian community, folks. प्रोग्राम टाइम शॉर्टेज वक्त की कमी की वजह से हम थोड़ा सा इख्तिताम की तरफ इस प्रोग्राम को लेके जाते हैं। इलेक्शन 2020 ऑन एंड ऑफ आपके साथ कंटिन्यू रहेगा, आपको एट लार्ज कैंडिडेट्स की तरफ लेके जाते रहेगा। नाउ एज वी आर नियरिंग टुवर्ड्स द कंक्लूजन, एंड आई वुड लाइक Derek, since we are with you right now, to give your conclusion remarks to the community out there for the strength of your campaign and what it stands for.
My campaign stands for every person that is called into this program. There's been people to call that were not necessarily or they're not able to afford certain things, different socioeconomic divisions of the district. And this district is not just made up of rich. It's not just made up of poor. It's made up of everybody. I am that type of person. My background mirrors the people of this district in all aspects. I am a current elected official in this district. I'm the only Democrat running that has already been elected in this district. But more than that, I'm the only Democrat running that actually knows what it means to serve. I know what it means to be a servant leader, and knows what it means that when people come and they ask you to do something, you have to set your own thoughts aside. You have to set your own ideas aside and listen to your community. And that's why I'm running. I'm running to be that voice for this district in Congress. I'm running to continue to serve this district as I have for the past 4 years. I am someone that you can trust. I am someone that is genuine in my message, and I will be there. Obviously, if I don't do the things that you as citizens are asking, then you won't elect me to go back. And so, I definitely would like your support, and I appreciate you having me on today.
Thank you, Derek. Mo, the law enforcement, again and again, I repeat, the backbone of any society. What are your closing remarks to your folks in your district? What they need to do for your campaign, sir?
So my whole platform that I'm running on is, of course, proactive policing, transparency, and keeping promises. Individuals oftentimes tell me, hey, you don't have a lot of experience. You've been only, a police officer for 5 years, and, you got to be a police officer for 25 years. This is what I have to say. Why would I want to be a head of a law enforcement agency after I've retired? That got to say something that I want to do this when I'm in my prime of my age. I'm 41 right now. I want to do it now. I don't want to do it when I'm 65 and I'm retired. I already got a pension coming in, and I don't mind doing it because I already have a paycheck. No, I want to do it now. I know I can do it better than the incumbent that is there in office because of my track record that I've successfully done in the last 5 years as a law enforcement agent, plus what I've done in my personal businesses, with my family business, with Verizon Wireless. You can go and check all my record. All of my record is public information. You can Google me and you can find a lot of stuff about me in Harris County, in Fort Bend County. My message is, please follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, check out my website. As I always say, of course, if you're in my district, I would love to have your vote. If you're not in my district, I want your support. And at the end, check me out. And if you're not in my district, of course, you can, contribute and support my campaign.
And what is your website?
Nehad2020.com.
Can you spell it for us?
Sure, NEHAD 2020.com.
And what sets you apart in one sentence from the incumbent?
Accountable, responsible, and leading by example.
What sets you apart, Derek, in one sentence from all other candidates in your district?
Experience.
And what is your website?
It's DerekReed.com, DerekReed.com.
So we had the pleasure today, and I will have this segment in Urdu and in English. We had the pleasure of talking to Mo Nehad. He is from Precinct 3 for the Constable Office. We had the pleasure of speaking to Senate District, Congressional District 22 representative who is vying for the Democratic primary, for you guys to pick him as your Democratic candidate to go for the election, early election for the Democratic primaries, and rest of the primaries are close to February 17th of coming year, 2020 election. Folks, हम जब तक पॉलिटिक्स के अंदर, सियासत के अंदर इन्वॉल्व नहीं होंगे, many times हमने बहुत दफ़ा ये फ्रेज़ रिपीट की है, हमारे कम्युनिटी लीडर्स भी रिपीट करते हैं, आज मैं भी रिपीट करता हूँ कि इफ़ यू डोंट हैव अ सीट एट द टेबल यू आर ऑन द मेन्यू. मेरी सेइंग नहीं है, लेकिन बड़ी ऑथेंटिक सेइंग है. It's a fact of today's political atmosphere. If we don't join hands, if the minorities of the United States of America, which makes this country so strong, which makes this country unique, which makes our country the powerful country on the face of this earth, if we don't come together and elect wholesome Americans who have lived the challenges of every American that anyone can live, who have worked the jobs in the industry, who have gone through some sort of schooling, who have gone through the struggles in life, who you have heard during our interviews here, that whose moms and loved ones have had the pleasure of enjoying the assisted insurance like Gold Card, who know the life as a real American lives. This is the time that we, as a nation, change the track, come on the right track, and adopt diversity as our strength in its true spirit and servant leadership for all Americans and equal opportunity, liberty and justice for all. Goodbye from Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali की तरफ से अल्लाह हाफिज़. Election 2020 continue रहेगा. Mo Nehad की तरफ से अल्लाह हाफिज़. Derek की तरफ से अल्लाह हाफिज़. Mo Nehad, Derek, thank you so much. You're welcome in this program to come again.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.